Welcome back, everyone. We have a special guest here today, Tim from the Military Arms Channel, and he brought a fun toy that I have been watching for years. So he did a very cool test on this BCM rifle here, put 10,000 rounds through it, and just kind of walk everyone through it if they didn't watch the series.
Sure. So it took us over 5 years, and we reached out to BCM because I wanted to demonstrate that the DI system was more robust than people had given it credit for.
Sure.
We've all heard the statements that it poops where it eats, being the AR-15. And basically what it's doing is just tapping off gas, running it back here. And we call it direct gas impingement, but the patent says it's an internal piston. So we understand that, folks, but DI just for the sake of simplicity, because that's what everybody knows it as.
Agreed.
So the DI system will tap off gas, bleed it into here, and then of course carbon gets into the receiver, but that's not unique to the AR-15.
Nope.
So a lot of carbon comes back down the barrel. If you ever shot a roller delay system, it's infinitely dirtier. I would say it's like an AR-15 with a can on it.
Agreed. Agreed.
So I wanted to prove that the carbon wasn't as much of a detriment as people were claiming that it was, in that I wanted to fire the gun, get it to 10,000 rounds, no oil, no maintenance, don't even crack the upper and the lower open unless I absolutely have to clear a malfunction or something. And we made it to 10,000 rounds. And
one thing before we get to that I want to talk about is that, like you said, they've been doing this testing for 5 years. For folks who are new to the gun world, back 5 years ago, 10 years ago, there was a huge argument in the community in terms of DI versus piston. At that time, piston was kind of taking over. The piston guns were what everyone wanted at that time. And Tim apparently was not a fan of that. So
never been a fan of piston guns.
So he set out to do this test. That's why the test occurred.
Right.
So,
and again, it's just to show that even though carbon gets into the action, it takes thousands and thousands and thousands of rounds before it becomes a problem. But there's other things that you can do to the AR-15 to induce problems. So if you have a dirty rifle, it's carbon caked.
Yep.
And you just put lubricant into it, it can cause that carbon to break down. Then if it sets a little while, it can turn into a sludge.
Goo, yep.
And then that will slow the velocity of the bolt carrier down, which then negatively affects reliability. So as we got to 10,000 rounds, it started to get sluggish because carbon was building up everywhere and they were scraping off as much as it could, but it got into the buffer tube and everything and finally just slowed down.
And if you want to see how dirty it actually got, he has a video up on his channel where you can see just how disgusting it is. Like, it'll make your drill instructor have a stroke.
Yeah. So there's at least 2 stripes lost inside that receiver.
100%.
And so it's really gross. But to the gun's credit, I mean, after we finished the test, and yes, I had to break the action open and cock the hammer because what was happening is it was just running out of steam. The carbon was binding up so much after we got 2 or 3 mags into each cycle.
Right.
The gun heated up with that expansion. It just became a little too sluggish to effectively strip around, fully chamber it, and allow the hammer to make contact with the firing pin.
Right.
So we get a click, no bang, crack it open. The hammer with the click, no bang would push the bolt carrier system home. We crack it open, cock the hammer, close it back up, and resume firing.
Right, and that only happened after many thousands of rounds.
Many thousands. It didn't happen until we were into the 9,000s, I think, like the high 8s, low 9s.
Yep, I agree. That's my memory anyway as well.
Yep. And so yeah. No, I was just going to say, and so yeah, I would say that yes, technically it had malfunctions, but it was just totally related to the fact that it was just getting so gummed up that once we put oil on it, in that video that he's talking about, if you watch the very end, we put a couple of drops of Lucas oil on it and run it full speed and it runs fine.
Right. So what we're going to do today is see if the rifle can still hit anything rather.
Yeah.
So 10,000 rounds, a lot of people question, how's the rifling going to be? All of those sorts of things. So we're going to put a few rounds downrange, see if we can actually hit some steel. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, let's go see if we can hit something.
Before we start shooting that BCM, I do want to thank the sponsor of today's video, and that is the good folks over at Checkmate Magazines. Before I tell you a little bit about them, I do need to let you know first, they are giving away a great prize package at the link here on your screen. Just a heads up though, that prize package winner will be drawn on the 7th, so it's ending soon. So if you're interested in that, definitely head over there and check it out. I think you will be interested in it. It's a pretty good prize package. Now the folks over at Checkmate Magazines make magazines for a ton of different models of firearms, types of firearms, OEM for a ton of different companies. They've made magazines in New York as well as in Georgia. They have 2 different factories for a ton of different firearms. The one I've been using lately most are these guys right here. They're 2011 magazines, which in my opinion are some of the best out there. One of the cool things is they have this flush fit model, which traditionally would be a 17 round mag. However, they re-engineered the follower and the spring to fit 19 flush in there, which certainly is cool. They also make magazines for Beretta, Springfield, Smith & Wesson. They make magazines for a ton of different companies. They've been doing so again here in America, which certainly is great. Definitely big thanks to the folks over at Checkmate Magazines for sponsoring the channel and employing a lot of Americans. Now let's head back out there and see what that BCM rifle can do in terms of actually hitting steel targets, or is it shot out? Let's find out. All right, so we got loaded up with some AAC 55 grain FMJ. We're just going to put a few rounds downrange, see if we can actually hit something. We will see.
That's how old this rifle is. The charging handle is only on one side.
That's true. BCM has
nowadays.
changed that since. All right.
Feel free to adjust that ocular side too if you need to.
Yep. All right, 100, no problem.
Wow.
Move it up to 2. There we go. No problem. I mean, at 200 yards, I think my B camera there is showing it. That's about a 4-inch group with just ball ammo off a janky rest.
With a rifle that's had 10,000 rounds put through it with no cleaning and doing six magazine mag dumps.
Right. I'll take it.
I'll take it too. That's pretty impressive. There's a few rounds in there still?
Yeah.
I'll finish it out.
Yep. Locks back. Well, as you guys just saw, the accuracy was pretty good, at least with ball ammo anyway. Not mad about that.
Hey, at 200 yards, if you can hit a man-sized target reliably, that's all it's required.
Correct.
So, yeah, I think it's really impressive how far this rifle's gone. Now, it can go much further. I do plan on shooting the upper some more. I will swap out the upper. I do have another brand new upper to put on here, but that's just it, I think. And I want you to take a look at it before I leave today, but I think pretty much with a barrel swap and just replacing the gas tube, not that it really needs it, but a barrel swap and a gas tube swap, and this thing's going to be pretty much brand new. Maybe replace the extractor.
Maybe the rings.
Rings and extractor spring,
right,
just to make it up to par, but then it's going to go another 10, 20,000 rounds easily.
Easy, I agree. People who watch my channel know I am a huge BCM fan. They do everything the right way, and the components that go into these rifles are picked for a reason. One of the reasons is durability, reliability, all those sorts of things.
Yep.
BCM does it right.
They do.
There's other companies that do it right as well, but BCM certainly is one of them.
And the nice thing about BCM is they're not super expensive.
Agreed.
Right? So you're going to find them about mid-tier price-wise, but in my opinion, even though they're mid-tier price-wise, they're going to be top-tier in terms of performance.
I agree. 2 out of the 3 home defense rifles I have are BCM, so I can pick any rifle at this point in my life, thankfully.
Right. Yeah.
so
and you pick BCM.
2 out of the 3 are BCM. So
that says something.
Exactly.
Especially coming from you, who you're a student of the AR-15, and then you do really good breakdowns when you're evaluating your rifles. Now, folks, I also wanted to just really quickly tell you that the purpose of this test wasn't to say, go ahead and go shoot your rifle 10,000 rounds with no maintenance.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that, especially if it's your fighting rifle. If you want to do it for fun, fine, but if your life depends on it, just clean your gun.
Right.
But the point of the test was, folks, is to show that the carbon buildup was slow, it was gradual, and it took us over 9,000 rounds to get to the point before the gun became so sluggish without any type of lubrication before it started to stumble. But it's not a statement to say go out there and treat your rifle in the same way. That's not what it was about.
Sure. And if you guys have any questions about the rifle, the testing, all that stuff, definitely put it down below. Definitely big thanks to Tim for coming down, bringing the rifle with him. If you guys aren't subscribed to his channel, which I doubt, I would imagine most of you are, but if you're not, there will be a link down below to do so. And thanks for coming out, man. Appreciate it.
Always a good time.
Thank you all for watching. We'll see you in the next video.